Are you thinking about making a move to the Middle Tennessee area around spring of 2025? If so, then stay tuned because in today's video, we are talking about how to go about the home search process so that you can make that a reality. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Martin. I'm a local Nashville real estate agent, founder of the Caitlin Martin team, powered by Weigert Realtors, the Andrews Group, and we specialize in helping out-of-staters looking to relocate to the Middle Tennessee area. Now, if you are hoping and planning on making a move to the Middle Tennessee area by this spring or even early summer, we're gonna be talking about what you need to do to actually make that a reality and make sure that you end up in the right place that you're going to love. So like I said, we specialize in working with relocation clients, and we have helped dozens of clients from California to New York to Chicago all make the move to the Middle Tennessee area. So these are going to be steps to help you streamline that process, because I know when it comes to trying to make a move, especially from a place like, say, California, that's a huge life decision. You want to make sure that you're making the right move, but not only that, that you're ending up in the right location. So let's go ahead and start talking about how to make that a reality and the best steps to take. Okay, so the first one is to have a plan in place. So it is not too early to start reaching out, trying to figure out who you want to work with to help you relocate to the Middle Tennessee area. It may seem like April, May, June, July are far away, but believe me, they will be here before you know it. Plus, and our spring market is the hottest time of the year, just like many other places in which to buy a house. So you want to be prepared and have a game plan in place. So number one is to start planning, start figuring out, research who you want to work with, which realtor. If you are looking to work with me, all of my contact information is down below. The best possible method of reach out is first to start with an email. But again, you want to start having a plan in place. So you want to talk to a realtor. And from there, you want to talk about, okay, what are you looking for? Not only what are you looking for in terms of a home, in terms of, beds, baths, square footage, not only just neighborhood, but what are you looking for in a lifestyle? A lot of times when people are moving here, yes, sometimes it can be because their job is bringing them here, but also people are moving here for the lifestyle that the Middle Tennessee area can afford them. And so what is important to you? What is it that you love about your daily life where you are now? And what do you need here to replicate those things that you really enjoy doing? Is it being within a short driving distance of grocery stores? Is it being near hiking locations? Are schools important? Do you need to be near kids' activities? Things like that. Are you really active? Do you need to be near a gym, or do you want a gym in your neighborhood? These are all things to think about that are important to your lifestyle so that you can really start honing in on where you want to be and what's the best fit for you and your lifestyle. So the next piece of advice is going to be plan a trip out here. If you have not been out here before, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you plan a trip to come and explore the area, because you want to get a feel for what's the best area for you. Nashville is great because we have so many different places around Nashville that each have their own style, their own flavor. So it's going to be important, and you want to figure out what is the best fit for you, which community feels the best, which part of town feels the best, what offers you that lifestyle that you are looking to have. And so even if you've come to Nashville to maybe enjoy the honky tonks and live music, I highly suggest planning a trip specifically to explore the area. And we have really honed in our process in terms of how to make that the most achievable for our clients. So when they come in for what I like to call the recon trip, they are well equipped to be able to explore the area in an efficient manner. So it helps you to maybe take the search from here and really start to narrow it down to what's going to be the best fit for you. Because one thing that we have found is that when when folks are, maybe they've had to make the move really quickly because of a job relocation. You know, what they've found is that they've had to make decisions pretty quickly. And so while that isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you know what you want, you know, sometimes once they get here, they're like, hey, you know, we've seen this especially a lot since our market was wild in 2021 and 2022 when people were basically having to give up their firstborn child in order to get a home because our market was that intense. You know, we saw that. Well, folks that got a home then, you know, our inventory was so low, they were just having to pick almost any house that would fit their criteria of beds, baths, and all of that. But then once they've lived here for a little while, they've been like, hey, you know, this house has been great, but we really want to be over here. And so they've made a move. And so if you have the time and the opportunity, especially now, you still have time to make these plans. Get out here and explore where you want to be so you have a much better likelihood of really honing in on where you want to be from the get-go. So that's something that's really important. And in addition to not only exploring the areas and exploring homes of what you can get for your money, the other piece of the puzzle is if schools are important to you, if you have school-aged children, you want to make sure that you are making those appointments to tour the schools to figure out which one's the best fit for you, which one you like the best. Now you can go and of course, you know, get on moms groups and Facebook chats and all of that, trying to figure out, you know, get other like real life opinions of these different schools, but it's also a great option for when you come out here for that recon trip to plan to meet with schools if that is something that's important to you, if that's something that you're needing to consider during your move. The other piece of the puzzle is, again, when you're talking with us and we're asking you about your lifestyle, you know, we want to know what's important to you, you know, things you like to do, whether you're a foodie, whether you like live music, or, you know, whatever it may be. We love to know that, so that way we can also point you in the right direction to where those things would be, so that you can get a more well-rounded experience, just so that you can know, again, is this area the best fit for you and your family and what it is that you are looking for? All right, the next piece of the puzzle is, once you have started to get your plan in place, once you've made that recon trip out here, the next thing you're gonna wanna decide is how you're going to do this home search. So are you planning to maybe relocate here and do temporary housing and do the home search in person? Or are you looking to do it virtually? Or are you planning a weekend to come in, see what's on the market, and then maybe if those aren't a fit, then looking at maybe doing part of it virtually if the right house comes up? These are all things to consider. You know, of course, since our market was wild back in 2021 and 2022, we did most of the home shopping virtually. So we are well equipped to help you do that if that's the best fit for you. You know, we've seen it multiple times where folks maybe send one of the spouses to do the home search. We FaceTime the other one through the house, get your opinions that way. I have had it where clients come in together. They also home search for a weekend, decide on a home, and then, you know, again, have had folks do it completely virtually. You know, and part of what that looks like is making sure that not only do you guys like the house, but also the neighborhood. So there's lots of elements to help you get this home search done. It just depends on what's the best fit for you and your family. The next piece of the puzzle to consider is, how far in advance do you need to secure a home? So a lot of times in our spring market, when folks are relocating here, what we see is that they are wanting to be here sometime between when their current school year ends and when the school year out here starts, which our school year typically starts in that first week or two of August here. So folks are generally trying to get in sometime within that May to July timeframe. But the other thing is to consider, do you have a home to sell in your current location? What does that look like? Are you gonna get any rent back? Have you started to have those conversations yet? So you really want to figure out, how far in advance do you need to secure a home? Are you looking to maybe, do you have the means and ability to potentially say, if the right home comes on the market in March, maybe close in April, and then that way the home's ready to go when you move here, say at the end of May? You know, we've seen it happen many ways. It's just, what works for you. You know, if you know that you need to be out of your current house by a certain time, that then will dictate your timeline of here. So I know a lot of times when you got the home to sell, it feels like a lot of moving parts are happening. But again, that's why starting to put this plan in place now is going to help streamline the rest of the process. You know, here in the Middle Tennessee area, we typically see a contract to close period be around 30 days, sometimes 45. That can be extended depending on circumstances, right? You know, what is the seller looking for? What's their timeline versus your timeline? You know, each time this really does end up becoming a truly customized process because it's not always a one size fits all. But when you know the general information of knowing that typically what we see around here is between 30 to 45 days. Now, depending, it could be a 2-week close. It just, again, it depends on a lot of factors when you're making that offer and what the sellers are looking for, what you guys are looking for. It really just depends. But you can at least have an idea in mind that typically we see around a 30 to 45 day contract to close. And so all of that kind of helps you start to reverse engineer how to make sure this process goes as smoothly as possible, especially if you've got a home to sell in your current location. And then up next, you're gonna wanna plan for your move. So when's the closing day? When are you leaving your current location? How are you going to move? You know, are you going to drive the truck? Are you going to hire movers to drive the trucks? Are you going to do pods? All of these things, you want to just start to go ahead and get an idea in advance of how you plan to make the move out here. Are you going to ship your cars out here? Are you going to drive your cars out here? Again, there's so many pieces of this puzzle, but the sooner you start planning, the more streamlined this really becomes. And then again, you do want to plan those movers. What's the best option for you? What makes it the least stressful for you and your family? And then of course, once you make the plans to move, then the final step of really making the move to the Middle Tennessee a reality, it's actually getting here. Now, of course, closing is going to happen sometimes in there, and we've seen it a lot where clients do a remote closing so they don't necessarily have to come to Tennessee. Now, if you want to, or if it lines up with your move-in date, then that's great too. You typically have options either doing it remote with a mobile notary if you've got a loan. If you are a cash buyer, then typically you can sign from literally anywhere in the world. It's just a couple of e-signatures. Or you could have the option to close here at the title company as well. So you definitely have options. And again, it all depends on your situation. So once you've planned the move, once you made the move and you closed on your home, then it's just a matter of getting settled and officially becoming a Tennessee resident, which isn't too complicated and going through the steps to make that happen. Normally it's just a trip to the DMV, and the most complicated piece is just making sure before you go that you have all of the right necessary documents. So if you're thinking about making a move to the Middle Tennessee area this year, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. All of our contact information is below. Again, my name is Caitlin Martin. I'll see you next time.